Welcome back to Road to Success. I'm so excited to be joined today with Maggie Ehrlich, the co-founder of Upstitch. Maggie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So Upstitch is located in a new and improved space in Albany.
Yes.
For folks who aren't familiar with the store, tell me a little bit about what you offer.
Upstitch is a creative reuse organization, nonprofit. We sell fabric and yarn and handcrafts to the community at an affordable rate.
When I learned about the concept for Upstitch, I was like, oh, that's just so clever. And I know that there are other stores across the country and right here in New York State that have a similar concept. I believe you mentioned that there was a store in Ithaca that helped kind of manifest the vision for Upstitch. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was on a trip with my family to Ithaca. And I went to the store called Sew Green, S-E-W, Green, and I thought, wow, this is such a cool store. It's a fabric and yarn thrift store, and I spoke quite a while to the owner who told me about the concept, and it was a beautiful store, and it was so exciting to see that everything had been donated. I myself like to shop at thrift stores and for my clothing and for my furniture, and so to be able to go to a store where fabric and yarn and things, other handcraft materials were sold was just very exciting to me. So I returned to Albany and I spoke to Megan, who is a friend of mine, and I knew that she made her own clothes. And I said, do you know about this store? I think Albany should have one. I think you should create this store. And she said, I'll do it if you help me. So we thought, well, I don't know if Albany can have a store like this. Is there a need? Are there materials people want to get rid of? Are there shoppers? And we found that there really was, a desire for it. And it's been an exciting journey.
When did you open? Because I know you opened in a smaller space before you moved into the new location on Essex Street. So tell me a little bit about that timeline.
Yeah, so when we started, we found a space at the Albany Art Room. The owner said we could have our first pop-up sale there. And it was such a success. That happened in May 2017. It was such a success that she offered us to rent the space there. And we continued there from May 2017 all the way through May of 2025. So we were there quite a long time. But we had outgrown the space. So we really wanted to be on one level so that our storage and our store were all in the same space, not separated by many flights of stairs like the last one. And it was, the Upper Hudson Library System is where we are now. They've been a really wonderful partner, and we've been able to be in that space and make it a really beautiful space.
How have people been able to find you?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people have said, "Oh, I didn't even know you were a business." We said, "Well, we've been in business for 9 years." So our new space has been really wonderful, and thanks to News 10 and to you that people have heard about us. We've heard a lot of people come in and say, oh, I heard about you on the news, or I read about you on the news. So thank you so much for that. We're also located near the Honest Wheat Food Co-op now. So that location has been really helpful because a lot of the people that shop in the co-op also shop with us. And then word of mouth, social media. We have some people who have helping us with social media, get the word out. And I think word of mouth really is probably what we hear the most. Somebody says, my friend told me to come here, my crafting group recommended I shop here. Having Joann's clothes actually helped us quite a bit because there's not as many places to go as there used to be.
That's an interesting point. Talk to me about some of the different items that you offer and what seems to be, if you had to pick maybe like 3 items that seem to be the most popular thing people are looking for or buying, what would that be?
People buy yarn, really, like we have some really beautiful yarn that is donated on occasion. It's not yarn that you can find at Michael's or Walmart or Hobby Lobby. It is really beautiful, farm, small craft yarn that people definitely come into the shop looking for from week to week, because you never know what we're going to have from week to week. People love fat quarters. Fat quarters are just pieces of fabric that are 18 by 22 inches. And luckily for us, we have a lot of volunteers who like creating fat quarters, because there are so many beautiful fabrics out there. And sometimes we'll open up a piece of fabric and it has a big chunk missing from it. And so we can take that piece, and instead of selling it as yardage, we can sell it as a fat quarter. So people sort of buy them like candy. They're really fun to pick out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what else are people looking for? Or maybe are they finding something that they didn't expect you to have and getting excited?
Yeah. We've recently been selling a lot of sewing machines.
Oh.
Which is something that ebbs and flows. Sometimes we'll end up having a lot of sewing machines people are donating. And it's really exciting for somebody when they're looking for that upgrade, or they're looking for that first machine and they can get that, and we're able to help them with that, because that's an expensive purchase, and at our store it's a lot less. And then cross stitch and hand embroidery has come back a lot.
I feel like I've seen that a lot on social
Yeah.
media now.
Yeah, and so we sell a lot of embroidery floss. I think people are pretty excited to find that. And then we have a lot of cross-stitch kits that we were able to offer. I think also with the fabric, I told you that a lot of people were bringing us materials that were pretty old, and fabric, according to a lot of the people, a lot of volunteers that are so knowledgeable about fabric, I've learned that the older fabric is better quality. There's a lot of things that you don't find in the newest fabric that you are able to find in the older fabric. So I think people are excited to find that. We even had somebody in December come and say, I can't even find Christmas fabric anywhere at the local stores, but I'm so excited you're offering it here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So being able to have this bigger space allows you to be on the same floor, allows you to put maybe a little bit more inventory out.
Correct.
But it also is presenting new opportunities for 2026, which includes different classes, right?
Yes. So in July 2025, we applied for a grant through the Bender Foundation, which was offered through the Community Foundation of the Greater Capital Region. And we were lucky enough to win that grant.
Wow, congratulations.
So thank you. So we were able to open the Rick Rack room. And Rick Rack is, the Rick Rack room is just sort of like a little cozy living room where people can get together and do crafts together. Rick Rack is an acronym that stands for a lot of the things Upstitch represents and strives for. So it means, Rick Rack, reimagine inclusive community kindness, reuse affordable creative crafts. We know that crafts is spelled with a C, but we spelled it with a K in this case. So that space has been really nice, because in our last space we weren't able to offer, we didn't have any kind of space like that. We didn't have a room where we could sit and gather and craft together. So in this new space, we've been able to offer a lot of classes. So in the springtime, we had a bunch of classes, and then in the winter, we'll have more classes. I want to show you this.
Okay. Brought some goodies with you today.
Yes, I did. This is a coral reef wreath. One of our volunteers put it together, and we display it in the store. And it's she's created all of these little pieces, and they're all to represent little pieces of coral reef. So the class is a weekly drop-in class. Anybody can come. It's on Wednesdays when our store is open. And you can learn how to make one of these little coral reef pieces. And it's a great way to learn crochet, because you can't make a mistake, because the mistakes actually is what creates the curling and the twisting. So it's really fun, and there's no right or wrong materials to use.
So So
So
all
it's very
levels
forgiving, all levels.
welcome. Okay, because I look
Yep.
at that and I say, oh my goodness.
I know it looks so hard,
It
right?
does, but it makes sense
Yeah.
how you said, even if you do make a mistake, it's hard to tell because it's just such a unique piece of work. The Tang Museum actually did a huge installation of coral reefs, and I think they were all crocheted. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And we participated in that. But
cool.
this time it's going to be at Williams College.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful.
So we the goal is to anybody. I know our volunteer Marcia, who's created all of these and many, many more. She will be giving a lot of her pieces to Williams College, and they'll be putting in a big installation in spring 2026.
Oh, wow.
So. So that's one thing that's been happening on Wednesdays. So that's fun to see the group come in on Wednesdays and work on their pieces.
And that's wonderful too with something like crocheting. It's such a individual activity, but it's not to say you can't make it a community activity when you're working on your individual project, but it's fun to be able to be around other people who are doing it as well.
Exactly, yes. And she's been able to teach people crochet, and then they can immediately feel like, oh good, they made something.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the other classes, I just wanted to get my flyers out.
Okay.
We have a Rotary Cutter Club that's been happening. One of our volunteers said, I live in a small space and I don't have a large table to cut out my patterns for. She makes clothing. Would you be willing to have people for free rent an hour of time when the store's closed to be able to cut out their clothing patterns? And so that's something we've been able to do, which is totally new. We could have never done that in our last space, but now that we have a bigger space, so we've been able to do that. And so that's been exciting for people to do. We have a knitting clinic that's been occurring. The knitting clinic is happening on Saturdays when we're open. And again, it's a drop-in. When I was a new knitter, I really could have used this clinic, because you're knitting and you don't know what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you need help fixing it.
So is this crocheting?
This is crochet.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I did reference it correctly.
Yes. And this is crochet.
Okay.
And what I just learned is that crochet can only be made by hand. Where knitting, there are knitting machines. So a sweater, like sweaters are knit.
Okay.
And there are knitting machines. And actually sometimes people donate knitting machines to us, and we've sold a few of those, but they're pretty, we don't see those too frequently. But crochet is created all by hand.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. And I love your top, by the way.
Oh, thank you. This was made by my husband's Oma grandmother.
Wow.
And she just passed away this summer, and we were going through her clothes, and she made many sweaters, so I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, beautiful
to
tribute.
wear. Yeah.
I love it.
We also, on the second Sunday, we're open the second Sunday of every month, and we have a group called the Social Crafters that are getting together. It's just a bunch of individuals who wanted to work on their crafts and have some tea and chat. So it's been a nice group that have been showing up.
And being able to socialize and meet some other people who might be interested in the same thing you're interested in, or maybe you can, learn something from them.
Right, and I think it's been a good way for people who are new to the area. We hear that a lot, oh, I'm new to the area, but I love knitting or crocheting or sewing, and I want to meet other like-minded people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little different than maybe going to the club or the bar.
Right, yeah.
Somebody who kind of aligns with maybe some of your interests.
Right, yeah. We also have some workshops coming up that are more instructional. So we'll have a visible mending workshop happening. So that is also to extend the life of your material. So maybe you have a sweater and it got a little hole in it, or you got a little tear in your pants. And so it'll be a visible mending workshop. And the thought on that is that you can create something that's even more beautiful and more unique and fix the hole.
Great. It's kind of like a repair cafe for when people bring in items to libraries and they help you fix it.
Right.
This is but with clothes.
With clothes, yes. Yeah, I guess you could bring in a blanket if you wanted to fix it, but yeah, bring in some fabric and learn how to fix it and make it look even more beautiful. We'll also have a teen knitting class that will be happening so that teens and preteens can learn more about knitting and how to do that.
Yeah, make it more approachable, because I think that, you know, for a long time it was an older generation who were able to really enjoy the hobby or really owned the hobby. Then you kind of saw it kind of move, and now we're looking at a younger generation to make sure that it keeps going on. But I feel like social media has played a role in making knitting and crocheting and just crafting younger and youthful.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is great, because
Yeah.
there's so many mental health benefits to it.
There are, yeah. And although there's a lot of tutorials out there online on how you can knit and crochet, and some people really love those, other people like me really want to learn from another person. And maybe
It's easier to see than versus like a, you know, flat on your phone or a YouTube video. It's a little bit, you know, if I'm watching your hands move, you know, I can ask questions.
right, right. And if you get stuck, you can say, what did I do wrong? And they can kind of fix it and instruct you. So, yeah, I think people still want that human connection. Yeah. Yeah. We have 2 sewing machine classes coming up too. People have been asking for help with sewing machines. So one is just a real like basic introduction sewing machine class that'll be coming up in early January, coming up pretty soon. And that's just the basics, like you got a sewing machine for the holidays, you don't know how to use it, or maybe yours has been in the closet and you'd like to learn how to use it. So everybody will be able to learn how to use their machine, or they can use one of the machines we have, and then they'll get to learn how to make a bag. So that should be fun. And then for people who already know how to use their machine but want to learn more of the advanced techniques, we have a class called Sewing Machine Maintenance, and they can learn how to take care of their machine and then use some of the more advanced tools.
Wonderful. Now, you'd mentioned it previously, but we did feature you on Off the Beaten Path. And at the end of the year, we always pick our top 3 most popular Off the Beaten Paths based on web traffic. Upstitch came in 3rd place.
Exciting.
What do you think it is that has led to the success? Why do you think it has become so popular among, you know, people in the community, not even just in Albany, but I know people drive, you know, from far out just come and see you.
Yeah. It's a really welcoming space, and it's like a treasure hunt. So you just never know what you're going to find. And everybody there is friendly, and they're willing to help you find your items or help you with your project. Even the customers are connecting a lot and like talking about their projects or offering help to each other. And people feel very connected, I think. We have a lot of volunteers, and some of them have said that Upstitch is like another family to them, and that they just feel they still feel very excited about what we're doing. We're not throwing things away. You know, we don't order things, so it's like sort of just very unique, I think. You're right that a lot of these do exist across New York State. There's one in Ithaca, there's one in Rochester, there are several in Massachusetts. So it's been exciting to see, even over the last 9 years, how many more of these shops have popped up, because I think it's really needed in the community.
When you first had this idea and you brought it to Megan, did you ever think that, you know, we would be here today talking about this huge, you know, year ahead, that you have all these clinics and events coming up?
Right, no, we both had preschoolers at the time, you know, and we both had other jobs, which we still do. But yeah, it's grown into so much more than we thought it would. But we're really excited about where it's been, where it's come, all the people we've met, all the things we've learned. It's really exciting.
What has been the most fulfilling part for you?
Well, I'm really excited to meet all the people I've met. You know, our volunteers are so skilled in so many ways, and our shoppers are so skilled. And when people come to us and they say, gee, I'd love to do this thing, we almost always try to make it happen, especially if they're willing to put in just as much work. We ended up having a lot of materials that were sort of not nice enough to go in the store, but not
We're throwing away.
yeah, it was still very usable. So we were able to create these community bundles, and they started out, we started them years ago, and they've really improved recently through the attention of a volunteer we have. I'll show you this one. We partner with organizations who are looking for materials, handmade materials that somebody could make. And we are able to give them the materials and the directions. So individuals can take these home. They're totally free. You can order them online, or you can get them in the store. And then they can take the project home, make the project. They don't have to use this exact pattern. They can use their own pattern if they'd like. And then when they have the mittens or the hat, the scarf, whatever the project is we're working on, they can bring it back to the store, and then we collect them all up and we donate them. So it's been, I think, for people who love to create but don't know what to do with it at the end, like their family has enough hats, but they want to keep creating hats, they're able to feel really good about, I made this hat and I gave it to somebody in need. And it also helps us keep the materials going, because there's nothing wrong with these materials, right? But they just don't have labels on them anymore. So that's like a knit and crochet one. This is an example of one that's maybe more for people who like to sew.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so this one is making baby blankets.
Oh, wow.
Quilted baby blankets, and the directions are in here. Hudson Valley Heroes, and it goes to babies that have some illnesses. And they contacted us to say, we'd like this project to happen. Could you help us with it?
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's always nice when, like I said, when we can partner with other organizations. We also give a lot of materials to groups that are we're already doing a lot of these projects, but maybe they're using their own funds to buy materials from a big box store. So instead, now we're able to, a quilting group that does a lot of charity work, or a senior knitting group that does a lot of charity work. So we're able to give them materials that then they can use to make a lot of the charity items.
It's great because it supports their mission. It also supports your mission to reduce waste. And then there's that added benefit of having a community member who feels like, I want to help, I don't know how, but I can take on one of these kits and know that it's making an impact for somebody who needs it.
Yeah, and we've been able to, we've been able to have a lot of different items that we've made, and they're quite varied. So besides quilts and mittens and hats, we've done dishcloths, we've done surgical caps, we've done fidget quilts that go to seniors with dementia who just need to keep their hands busy. And we've done pillowcases that go to kids and families that might need a little fun pattern in their life. So it's been really fun. So we call them community bundles, and people can get them, like I said, online or in the store.
Okay, online on your website or at the store. Perfect, because I feel like that's the number one thing people are going to ask.
Yes. Okay. I wanted to share with you about our bag sale.
That's cute.
In February, on February 7th, from 1 to 4, we'll be having our annual bag sale. So it used to be called an attic sale, but now we don't have an attic. Thank heavens. But it's our, usually the sale used to be in the summer, but it'll be in February this year. And what people can do is they can come, and they don't come to our shop, but it's like right next to our shop in the same building. It'll be in a conference room. And we set up a bunch of tables with fabric and yarn, and then people can pay $10 for this handmade bag, made with materials that we already had, and they can stuff as much fabric and yarn as they can fit into this bag and take it home and use it.
Wonderful. So they get to keep the bag, and then they get the added benefit of having all the items that they put inside.
That's right.
Wow.
Yes.
How popular is that event?
Very popular.
Really?
Very popular event, yes. And people come back year after year with their same bag, because they know if they come back with the bag, it's only $8.
Oh, okay.
So what we've done, you know, every year the bag is a little different. So this year the bag will have, you know, some embellishment on it to make it, we'll know it's this year's bag.
Cute.
Yep.
It's like a collector's item.
Sure. Yep, and so that helps us make space for additional donations, and it helps the community get a great deal on fabric and yarn.
Really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today and chat a little bit more about Upstitch. For more information about all the different items we talked about, sales, upcoming events, you can head to your website, which is
www.upstitch.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us for Road to Success. We'll see you next week.